Wes, thank you very much. Our FPL expert, Wes Prickett, a.k.a. FPL Heisenberg. Go and check him out on Twitter. Time to focus now on Manchester United against Leicester. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers, but first, the United boss, Erik ten Hag.
A hard night for your players. It's an intense game, and then you've got to start again against Leicester in an important game on Sunday. Is it possible for the players to re-energise and recharge for over such a short space of time for a big game on Sunday?
Yes, of course. And it's about if we do the things right. And we are ready. We are in this rhythm for many weeks. And so our players are doing really well in their sleep, in their recovery, in their food. And they will be ready for Sunday, definitely.
Dave.
Hi, Erik. You're third in the Premier League, on course to return to the Champions League. Did this performance tonight convince you and show you that this team belongs back in the Champions League, that you can get back there straight away?
Oh, we are in the right direction, but we have to fight for it. That is two ways. One is the Europe League, and the other way is the Premier League. So we know what to do, and we have to see it from game to game, and to fight and to get back in the Champions League.
Paul.
Erik, with the busy schedule, is it something that the players, should relish and accept that this is what they've got to deal with if they're going to be competing for big trophies right to the end of competitions?
But the players in our squad, they liked it. They like it. They like to play big games, and they know also as a team and as individual, you grow from such games. Today, we went better players, we went better team. So that will help us in our process, and we are in the right direction. So we have to keep this process going. We will analyze again. We will criticize what went good, what went wrong, and we move on. Sunday, next game, next big game.
Neil.
Erik, we've seen Arsenal drop a lot of points. Manchester City have had a couple of slip-ups. Does this show that the title is still up for grabs for more than two clubs?
We don't think about so far. What we have to do is to put us in April in the right position, and so our thinking can only be on the next game. Always have to be better as the previous game, and think about game for game and put there the energy and the focus in.
So does that mean that for in April to still be within maybe a chance? Maybe within 4 or 5 points of the top?
It does mean that we have to win on Sunday, and that we have to collect the 3 points against Leicester, and that demands a lot of energy and demands high standards.
I look at Manchester United and I see the introduction, firstly, of new players coming in. If you think of players like Christian Eriksen and Martinez, really outstanding players. In Casemiro, they've got a real world-class player who's that comforting player for them, that he's got the experience, he's got the qualities, he's got everything, he's always calm.
Farrell Williams, Manchester United.
Why full naming me?
Don't know, just got to get serious in the last part, shall we? 5 points behind Arsenal and Manchester City. Are United in the title race?
I think you'd have to say they are. I think the form of Rashford has been second to none. It's been unbelievable to watch. It's been nice to see, the criticism that he got last year, and rightly so. And Man United wasn't in a great place, but the way he's reacted and responded to that, went away in the summer. He had a good World Cup with England, and he's just continued that form on for Man United. But I think Casemiro and this Man United team is going to be a huge miss in the game. So I think this is the last one now? Last game left, is it? Or has he got another
one? He's got one more. This is the one,
This is the last one, isn't it? And then he's back. But you look at the points there, they're certainly in the title race. There's 4 points, 5 points in it. And we said that we can still see Arsenal dropping points between now and the end of the season. We can still see Manchester City doing that. So there's certainly a three-way, I would say, race for the title. But I would still say Manchester City are going to win it.
I think we all want whatever Macus Rashford's drinking, don't we? Because 14 goals in 16 games in all competitions since the World Cup is just astonishing. All to do with the focus, which is what we see in the celebration.
Yeah, the funny thing is, did it start at the World Cup? This is a massive tangent, but he scored that free kick against Wales, flew in.
Yeah.
and he got loads of praise. But I thought he was absolutely shocking in the first half. But obviously that like sparked something into him, and he's like one of the informed players in the world.
You're one of the guys that writes about him, that's motivated him this year to be even better.
He's putting up my words. And, that's where the focus comes in. Like, you got to block out people like me saying he was shocking when he had like man of the match performance. Yeah, look.
Would you play him through the middle more? Because it's interesting that in that game where he went up top, where Shaw put in that perfect ball at Leeds, and I was there, and we were watching Wout Weghorst go into the 10 role, which he did against Barcelona. A 6'6" guy playing 10. Would you not play Rashford higher up? Would he not be more amongst the goal?
Yeah, I think he can do. I think with Rashford, it was more about his composure. He was a bit erratic in front of goal, and he was getting the chances. When he played the 9 last season, he was getting the chances. It was more about that composure and relaxing and passing the ball into net, which we've seen him do this year. We've seen him score goals with his head, which we ain't used to seeing him do. He's just. I think his all-round game now has come on. I mean, as I say, I don't know what he did in the summer, but he certainly went away and worked on himself more importantly. And you talk about confidence, and sometimes you need to get that confidence from within and know what it is you need, rather than trying to rely on your teammates or your manager, which he probably did too often last season. I think working with himself and the way he's come back is, as I said, it's been phenomenal. And yeah, now we've seen Sancho's back as well. Similar thing. He's gone away and worked, and Ten Hag sent him away, and he's come back looking close to how he was before.
It is going to be his best scoring season, looking at what we just saw there. But in terms of Manchester United, could the fact that they don't play City and they don't play Arsenal impact that title race? I mean, they'll be praying for a draw at the Etihad, won't they, between those two?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we were saying earlier on about maybe it's not as consistent in the title race, where whoever's top just keeps winning out. And maybe I think that's why United are in with a shout. Because I remember I went to the Manchester derby when they beat City, and I bumped into a United fan I know, and he was like, "Do you think United are in the title race?" I was like, "Yeah," because they're not up against a prime City or a prime Liverpool. I think teams are going to drop points. So there's a few ifs involved, but if City and Arsenal were to drop points this weekend, not massively unheard of because of their situations, and United win, all of a sudden, everyone's really talking about it. Good fixtures coming up there. They always seem to have a good run of fixtures. It's obviously not true, but they always seem to have a good run of fixtures, United. Like, I think coming back from the World Cup, everyone put Rashford in their FPL teams because it was like, these fixtures are winnable. They've got another one there. They will be playing for a draw by then, but that's the end of April. They've got a lot to make up before then. But they're ticking along nicely. And obviously in the Europa League, everyone was loving that performance against Barca, weren't they? Like this, I've never said this over the years, and I've hated it when people have said it, but it feels like United are back. Not peak Ferguson levels, but you can actually expect them to go and win a game now.
Yeah, and look, a tough game against Leicester because they're in good form and they've scored 8 goals in their last 2 games. They had a really tricky February and still have some tricky games to come. But Brendan Rodgers has dragged them away from the bottom 3. They're in really hot form at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think certainly some of the players that have come back in Dewsbury Hall and Harvey Barnes, and obviously Maddison, key. I think Mendy in the middle. I think getting these players back, which we heard Brendan Rodgers talk when they was going through that bad period, that they've got a small squad anyway, and they needed these players. They're important to the team. So I think, the fact that they're now scoring goals, I think they picked up, 2 really good results in the last couple of weeks. They'll be going into this game against United, with huge confidence, and they're playing well. And the more important thing is that they're scoring goals, which they wasn't able to do, when they were going through that run of a bad form. They still concede goals. That's the only thing with Leicester. They do concede a lot at the back. They're not quite as organised as we've seen in recent years, but they're starting to score, which is a positive for them, and they've picked up 6 points in the last 2 games.
And he certainly didn't get the recruitment he wanted, Brendan Rodgers, did he? He's just, I mean, we know he's always had a good group there, but this is more the Leicester that we saw that was knocking on the door for those Champions League seasons.
Yeah, it is more like it. Like Farah says, they're not quite as solid at the back, but at least if you've got weapons going forward, like 3 of those goals there we saw against Spurs, they were just getting the ball forward quickly. Get the ball forward early, go direct. And it's a different Leicester now. In terms of characters, obviously Vardy's still there, but he's not playing so much. Schmeichel's left. There has been a bit of a turnover in that department, and obviously last summer they basically sold a lot of players and didn't bring an awful lot in, and that's why people were worried about them at the start of the season. They've turned that around. There wasn't too much going on in January either, but like Farah says, getting players back in and not... It just feels really basic to say this. I feel like you expect more from us coming on. But with Rashford in United, he's just class at the minute. You can't look past him as a talking point. And it's the same with Maddison for Leicester. Like, you can't look past that. If Maddison's playing for Leicester, it gives them a chance. It's as simple as that. And they might concede goals at United, but they can really cause them problems as well if they go back to that kind of direct get the ball forward style that's done them so well over the years.
And that's the thing, they don't want to be a club losing there, because the likes of Maddison were linked with Newcastle. Obviously, you know, Tielemans, but Harvey Barnes as well. He's a fantastic player, fantastic player. They want to keep hold of them. They want to keep that momentum going.
I think that's the frustration with the fans and Brendan Rodgers himself, is that Brendan Rodgers is a fantastic coach. But you've got to have players in, you've got to have a squad of players that you can work with. And if you keep, you know, developing players, improving players, and then, you know, allowing them to just go without really replacing them, which is what has happened at Leicester, you're going to be in a position that we've seen them in, regardless of how good a coach you are. I think they let far too many players go. They haven't replaced them. They had a lot of injuries, and they've worked with limited numbers. So, as I say, they've got these players back now. Now it's a case of they're scoring goals, but they have to concede less, because that's what's let them down massively this season. And, you know, Brendan Rodgers, when you're used to seeing his teams, you're not used to seeing them concede as many goals as they have done.
Right, 90 seconds left. It's time for pundit predictions. Are you responsible for this, Farah, as well?
Because I'd have put about 4-0 Chelsea, not 1-0, but that's okay.
Well, on that game,
They barely won a game. You're lucky they win.
So you've gone for 2-2, Leicester at Old Trafford.
Yeah, like both teams in form. United, obviously, they've had Barca the other night, so that might be a factor as well. Leicester can score goals, they can concede, so I fancy goals and something interesting. So yeah, why not?